Record. Thanks so much for joining. I'm just going to keep a little eye on the waiting room to start. So sorry if I look like I'm looking in different places. So we're here to talk about optimizing your sleep. Sleep, as I'm sure you all know, is very important, and here's to talk about why and what we can do to improve it. So sleep is an investment in the energy you need to be effective tomorrow. I love that saying. I think that it's so true, because we all know that the day after a bad night's sleep is not when we're at our finest, and it's really hard to do all the things that you have to do in your busy lives when you've not had a good sleep the night before. So it's very hard to be effective in what you're doing when you haven't slept at all well. So I'm Vicky. I'm a health coach. That's how I'm talking as today. I'm also a neuro-oncology nurse specialist. So I'm an NHS nurse as well by background. So lots of experience in talking to people who are both well and unwell about their sleep problems. So today we're focused on solutions. So hopefully you go away with some tools that can equip you to have a better night's sleep. So the goal is to increase knowledge of how sleep can improve your productivity and wellness. Then talk about how getting enough sleep isn't just about feeling well rested, it's so much more than that. It's a powerful tool that can supercharge your life in so many ways if you have it. So what adequate sleep can give you is the ability to think more clearly, to make better decisions, and to tackle your tasks with more energy. Sleep fuels our bodies. It helps our ability to repair and recover. So whether that's from a physical exertion, a mental exertion, a psychological exertion, it plays a crucial role in emotional regulation and mental clarity. So we can all think, I can certainly think of situations where I feel like I may have been better equipped to deal with or to state my case, perhaps, if I had been well rested and really feeling capable and able to give all my energy to what I was focusing on that day. So with sufficient sleep, you've also got the bonus of energy to enjoy the activities that you love. It helps you have stronger relationships because you can bring the joy to your relationship. And it gives a greater sense of overall well-being, which everybody around us also benefits from. There's also some aspects of safety, isn't there, to being well rested? So when you think about safety on the roads, for example, when you're driving, if you're driving home from work, or if you're out cycling, perhaps, if you have less sleep and you're feeling less clarity, then you're more likely to have a mishap. Same at work, more likely to make mistakes if we're feeling tired. So it's in everyone's benefit if we're well rested. So a lack of sleep is a threat to our overall health. So why is it an issue? Why does it matter? So the impact of sleep deprivation. So poor sleep affects 62% of us as adults. It's not a luxury. It's essential for our health and well-being. The lack of sleep is critical determinant on how we function in our everyday. And it's an alarming trend that 1 in 10 people only manage 2 to 4 hours of sleep per night. So the takeaway is that we're not getting enough sleep as a nation. So you're not alone if you're struggling to sleep. And it is having a significant impact on our health. And we see that with different health conditions. Sometimes the health conditions also impact on the sleep. And so it's a double-edged sword, which is what makes this even more important. So reasons why it's important. We know that sleep deprivation is widespread. So let's think about why we need to prioritize it. So for our learning and memory, sleep is like magic for our minds. It consolidates memories, it boosts our ability to learn and retain information. We all can think, can't we, if we're tired, that trying to find that memory you're searching for in the back of your mind somewhere is not forthcoming. The same as hormonal changes. So, for example, the menopause can really affect memory and sleep. And so those two compound each other into worse sleep and worse memory. Metabolism and weight. Sleep regulates hormones that control hunger and feeling satisfied. So when we're sleep deprived, our body craves more calories, which is likely to lead to weight gain. It's looking to give us the energy, isn't it, in a different way. Safety. So as I mentioned, drowsy driving is dangerous. Adequate sleep keeps you alert, focused, and reduces the risk of accidents generally. Your mood. Sleep deprivation can be a mood wrecker. It increases your stress hormone and makes you susceptible to anxiety and depression. Again, if we think of hormonal health, these are all really big factors. Heart health. Think about your cardiac well-being. Chronic sleep deprivation puts a strain on your heart. Getting enough sleep can help to regulate your blood pressure. When you think about the anxiety and depression and the mood that comes with bad sleep, you wouldn't be surprised if your blood pressure was high. Reducing that reduces the risk of heart disease. So it's really worth us investing in finding a way to sleep better. Chronic disease. We know that sleep is essential for a healthy immune system. And this can be really hard if you're fighting an illness or you're going through a treatment, because you're really trying to give yourself the best chance to go through the treatment well. And the lack of sleep can really increase your risk of developing things like diabetes, chronic illnesses. And so it's important in terms of recovery, but also trying to minimize the chances of chronic disease happening. So sleep isn't an indulgence, it's not a nice to have, it's an essential investment in your overall health and well-being. So let's talk about some practical things now. So what can we do? So learning and memory. So as we said, sleep helps the brain to store new information as memories. Sleep is our brain's best friend. It absolutely needs it. It's completely integral to its working well. So while you're snoozing, your brain replays and strengthens the information that you've learned through the day. And we never stop learning, do we? We're picking up things all through the day, whatever they relate to. So think about your brain when you're sleeping as filing away the new knowledge so that you can withdraw it and bring it forwards when you need it later on. Your memory consolidates. So sleep allows the brain to bring your memories together, transforming your short-term memory into long-term memories. This process helps you retain information and recall it when you need it. Sometimes our short-term memory can be impaired and our long-term memory seems amazingly good. Even information that you think, gosh, I don't even need that. Why is my brain keeping it? It's because it's had the opportunity over time to consolidate it and put it somewhere it can retrieve it. Whereas the short-term memory, it's not quite gone in enough because we're too tired. So learning power boost. So research shows that getting enough sleep after learning new tasks or information, so a day work, think about teenagers, think about people studying, learning, as well as ourselves, it's likely to lead to significantly improved results. So if we know people are trying to get that test pass, or perhaps got a course you're doing, it's important to be able to get your rest after you've done your learning so that your brain can keep it in for you. So sleep is your ally for forming and consolidating information. So chronic sleep deprivation, it does play a role in weight management. And here's how it can impact on weight gain. So studies have shown there's a link between sleep deprivation and weight gain. When you're sleep deprived, your body's processes slow down, and so it leads to less calorie burning, so your metabolism's less efficient. You're also likely to crave more because sleep regulates your hormones that control your hunger. And so when you're sleep deprived, your body produces the hunger hormone and less leptin, which is your fullness hormone. So you're more likely to make less good choices with food. and probably eat more overall than you would have done otherwise. And that combination of more of the wrong things doesn't tend to leave us feeling particularly good. So when you're tired, you also don't feel like exercising. So you're less likely to go and do a gym class, go out for a run, do something that normally would give you more energy, because sleep deprivation zaps your energy and your motivation. This is also a factor for weight management. And hormones, sleep deprivation disrupts the production of hormones. So we can think that the hormones are causing the sleep problem, but it's a double-edged sword, because the sleep disruption is also, if you've got sleep deprivation already, your sleep hormones like leptin and insulin, which influence your appetite, your sugar levels, lead to an imbalance. And then that can lead also to another factor in weight changes. So getting enough rest can help you regulate hormones, curb some of the cravings, and give you the boost to exercise. And that will be the winning combination for gaining back a healthy weight and feeling good about yourself. Because that's the other thing, isn't it? Weight changes often don't make us feel our best selves. So being sleep deprivation isn't about just being tired. It's also safety. So we need to think about your safety and how that makes you feel when you're not getting enough sleep. So when you have microscopic sleep episodes, when sleep is deprived, you're at risk of experiencing these micro sleeps, so mini sleeps, naps. So you have brief moments of sleep which last seconds. These little micro sleeps can be dangerous because they could happen during the day and you don't always see them coming or notice them. So you could be actually doing something when they happen. This is often something you notice if you're really, really tired, chronically tired. You have reduced focus and reaction time as well. And so your ability to focus more quickly is lessened, and that can lead to other problems. So it can be a bit of a risk to yourself and to others if you're feeling really tired. So another reason why we need to think about what can we do about it. Sometimes you might feel like you're running on fumes and everything is just getting under your skin. And sleep deprivation really could be the reason for feeling like that. When you're sleep deprived, your patience is thin. You're more likely to be frustrated, snappy, irritability, because the sleep loss increases your stress hormones and makes you susceptible to feeling on the edge. Mood swings can also come from sleep deprivation. So your emotional state, you can find it really hard to regulate and manage those emotions in a way that you would have done otherwise. When you're tired constantly, you don't feel like you want to go out and do the activities that you would normally love, and that can make you feel quite low in mood. And the other people around you might notice it, but they might not necessarily notice it with compassion. And so they may say, oh, okay, we'll leave that with you, and be quite negative, which makes you feel even worse. So sleep's essential for all of our well-being. Getting enough rest helps you feel more patient, manage your stress, and maintain a positive outlook. So allowing you to enjoy life, which is really what it's all about and what we're here for. So thinking about your heart, so what can happen? So sleep really matters for your heart to feel healthy. Not just about feeling rested, it's crucial for your heart to be healthy. So the impact on your cardiovascular system is quite important to understand. So high blood pressure, studies have shown that there's a link between chronic sleep deprivation and high blood pressure, because when you're sleep deprived, your body is releasing stress hormones, and that causes your blood pressure to rise. Higher stress hormones, so sleep deprivation increases cortisol. There's a lot, isn't there, around cortisol at the moment, the cortisol diets, the impact of cortisol. And the impact actually of cortisol is real. It's there for our body to see when a risk is coming towards us. It's there for our fight or flight. It's there to make us be alert when danger is coming our way. So it's really, really important. But the problem is that when we're tired, it increases our sleep deprivation to keep us more alert. And if that's chronically elevated, that puts a risk to our heart, because it's a strain, isn't it, being in that state of readiness all the time? We're not meant to be like that. We're meant to be like that when there's a threat coming towards us. So sleep apnea is a common sleep disorder, and that's linked to sleep deprivation. So it's where you have an irregular heartbeat sometimes, but it's where you sort of stop breathing and then start again. So people can have it for different reasons, but you're also not getting enough oxygen in. But it can be a reason that it really disrupts your sleep. Over time, stress-related issues can all have this cascading effect, increasing the risks of heart disease and stroke and other cardiac problems. So by getting enough rest, you can regulate your blood pressure better, manage your stress hormones, and promote a healthy heart rhythm, which is really crucial for our hearts to function to their optimum. So we know, linking into our hearts, chronic disease is also another reason why sleeping well really matters. So your immune system, when you're sleep deprived, is weakened. So you're more likely to get infections and illnesses, even if it's just a common cold, nothing necessarily more serious, but it's a bit of a catch-22, because then you feel even more tired because you're constantly in this state of feeling unwell. Chronic sleep deprivation disrupts your hormones that regulate your blood sugar levels. And so if you have diabetes, you can find it harder to manage those. Also, you're at greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And again, obesity, as we talked about the weight troubles. Really important one is depression, because sleep deprivation can also go hand in hand with depression. A lack of sleep can worsen the depression, and also vice versa. So important, if that feels like a factor, to look at more than one way to tackle that sleep deprivation. It can play havoc with your stomach as well, because we know that our gut bacteria is so delicate, isn't it? And it doesn't take much actually to disrupt that. So bad sleep means that you could find that your stomach's really feeling quite iffy as well. So all in all, that makes you feel really quite rubbish. So how much sleep do we actually need? Look at the baby. So a baby needs 12 to 18 hours when they're newborn, and then it gets less and less as they get bigger. So infants, which 14 to 15 hours. As you're here, you clearly are not getting 14 to 15 hours, and can only dream of such a situation where that might occur. Toddlers, it gets a bit less still, 12 to 13, but still half the day. And then preschoolers, 11 to 13. So what about us? What do we need? So teens, believe it or not, 8.5 to 9.25 hours. I'm not sure my teen thinks that that's all she needs. And adults should ideally be getting 7 to 9 hours. If we think about what we talked about at the start, where the average 62% of adults are getting 2 to 4 hours, we're nowhere near where we need to be. So performance. Let's think about our ability to have a well-rested mind and our performance at work or in problem solving, where we've got roadblocks in the way of making decisions, and our brain is really struggling because it can't find and sharpen our problem solving skills. So our work quality can be on a bit of a roller coaster, which can then lead to greater sleep deprivation because you're worried and about fixing mistakes or problems that have come up. Memory lapses can affect our overall performance, as can mood swings, and motivational meltdowns in the workplace can make it really difficult. So we can end up trying to cut corners because we're trying to get jobs done, and that can lead to even greater stress. So that cortisol level is rising up again. So if we're rested, we can solve problems. When we're not, we really struggle. So let's go to some more solution focus. So routines are really the key to improving our sleep. And you may be thinking, oh, I've tried all of these things. But let's start with a fresh mind. So let's think about routine. So you need to create a relaxing routine for a better sleep. So now we know the importance of sleep. Let's think again about how we can create a sleep supportive routine. So rhythm and rest. Go to bed and wake up at consistent times, even on weekends. This helps your body to regulate and find its natural sleep-wake cycle. Sometimes this isn't as easy. If you're in a job where you have different shifts, if you have young children who perhaps wake you up in the night, there can be real challenges to doing this. So you need to think, what is achievable for you if you're thinking about rhythm and rest? Can you create a routine of any kind, even if it's not your ideal one, to try to break the cycle that you're in right now? Calm your environment down. So what does that mean? Making your bedroom a sleep haven. It may be somewhere when you're chronically sleep deprived, you've really started to think, oh gosh, it's that time. So you can feel quite an impending doom and a bit of resentment towards, going into this place which should be your sanctuary. Start again. Make it a dark, quiet, cool, clutter-free. Doesn't matter if that's shoved in a cupboard or it's just in a different room. Get it out of your bedroom. Do you need blackout blinds? Just consider it. It may well be an investment worth making. Earplugs. Make sure that you've blocked out the sound and that the room is a comfortable temperature for you, that your duvet is a comfortable duvet for you. Your mattress and pillows are really important. They're your sleep allies. If you don't have a good pillow, you can end up with all sorts of neck problems and a number of different things. So make sure that you think about your pillows. We don't change them as often as we should. So make sure that your pillows are comfortable, you've got a supportive mattress, and that you've flipped your mattress to make sure that it stayed nice and comfortable. Buy a mattress topper if your mattress isn't. It's a really cheap and affordable way of making your bed more comfortable and give you that hotel feeling. Sometimes when you're making these changes to try to sleep better, these small things might make a difference. So bedroom boundaries are really important. Your bedroom should only be for sleep and intimacy. That's the only thing it's there for. It's not to watch TV in, you shouldn't be working in it, and you shouldn't be using your electronic devices in bed. We're all guilty, aren't we, of that phone being too close to us when the last thing we look at and the first thing we look at. Move it to a different room. Buy yourself an alarm clock if that's what you need, because we all tell ourselves our phone's our alarm clock. I can't move it out of the bedroom. Move it out of the bedroom and try it. An alarm clock may well be your solution, because those activities stimulate your brain and make it harder for you to fall asleep. If you wake up in the night, they're an easy go-to, but they're stopping you going back to sleep. So just try it. Nighttime nibbling. Try to avoid heavy meals or sugary snacks close to bedtime. Ideally, if you can, finish your dinner 2 to 3 hours before your sleep, and then it allows you time to digest. It's actually really important for our bodies to rest and repair overnight. So in an ideal world, we would have 12 hours overnight where we're not eating and our body is allowing itself to repair and notice anything that's going wrong and needs fixing in it. So if you've got any inflammation in there, if you allow your body that period without any digestion being done, you'll also feel better because it will help to reset anything that needs changing. So regular exercise does promote better sleep. I know you might be thinking I'm too tired to exercise, but it really does make a difference. And if you don't like exercise, just think about movement. Movement's really important. So you could move rather than exercise. Do it most days of the week. Aim for moderate intensity. It doesn't need to be strenuous activity, but a moderate activity. Try not to do it close to your bedtime because you'll be stimulated and it won't help you to sleep well. Try and make it something, if you can, if it's possible, that you get up and do in the morning, because it will help boost your energy in the morning, even if you've not slept well. Notice what stimulants you have. caffeine, nicotine, alcohol. Caffeine stays in your system for hours, so try to limit its intake completely. You don't need to cut it out at all, sort of so that you don't have any, but try not to have it in the afternoon and evening. Switch to decaf options. Nicotine's a stimulant and can disrupt your sleep. Alcohol may make you drowsy initially, but we all know that it doesn't give a good quality sleep, even one glass. So it's best avoided when you're struggling with sleep, because it will wake you up and reduce the quality through the night. Try to unwind before you go to bed. Develop a relaxing routine to signal to your body it's time to wind down. If you like a bath, take a warm bath. Read a book, listen to some calming music. Practice relaxation techniques like breathing and meditation. If you incorporate these into your routine, you'll create a sleep supportive environment, and that promotes you to go to bed feeling restful and get a good night's sleep. So mastering the art of sleep. So we've covered a lot. So let's look into sleep hygiene, habits and practices that promote better sleep. Many of you will have heard of sleep hygiene, and you might be thinking, oh God, it's this again. But think about the pillars involved with it. So routine is key. As we discussed earlier, establishing a consistent sleep schedule is really important, even on the weekends, to help regulate your natural sleep-wake cycle. Wind down wisely, create a relaxing bedtime routine to signal to your body it's time to wind down, and see what activities you feel like will be helpful to you. Break the worry cycle. So if you can't fall asleep, don't lie in bed tossing and turning, because it can create your anxiety and make it harder to fall asleep. Get out of bed, do something relaxing until you feel tired, and then get back into bed. Don't go and have a cup of tea or something though that's going to prevent you from going to sleep, and don't go on your phone. So think about relaxing things. Is it music? Is it listening to something? What do you find relaxing? If worry is actually the thing that's keeping you up, write it down. Do a to-do list before bed. It can help clear your mind and allow you to focus on sleep. Have a notepad next to your bed so that you don't put it into your phone. Consider deep breathing. Deep, slow breaths can activate your body's relaxation response. A really good one to practice is the 4-7-8 routine. You can, if you want to do it with something, you can find videos on YouTube really easily. So you breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 7. And then breathe out really slowly for a count of 8. Repeat it for several minutes. It's actually an activity that within 15 minutes will reset your heart rate and reduce your anxiety. So the 4-7-8, if the one thing you take away from this is to try the 4-7-8, just do that for yourself this evening. In for 4 through your nose, hold for 7 and breathe out for 8. Another nice one to try is a progressive muscle relaxation. Tense and relax different muscle groups in your body, starting from your big toes and working all the way up. It can release tension and promote relaxation. It doesn't necessarily send you to sleep, but it's just a way of getting you ready to think about sleep. Meditation can help quiet your mind if you notice that your mind is actually one of the bigger factors for you, and it can help promote feelings of calmness. There are quite a lot of guided meditations online if you like that, or in apps to help you get started. Try not to practice them before, when you're in the situation where you're wanting to sleep. Try and practice them during the day so you know what you're doing. Developing good sleep hygiene and relaxation takes time, so you've got to be patient with yourself and consistent. You'll find yourself drifting off more easily and enjoying a restful night's sleep once you've sort of mastered that. So think about, are you already practicing any of these routines? And if so, which ones are you practicing? Notice what's helped you so far, and then think about what could you incorporate that's new. So let's think just about some takeaways. So we know that sleep is essential for our physical and mental well-being, yet many of us underestimate how important it is, and we often take it for granted until we experience negative consequences of sleep deprivation. So prioritising sleep is really important. It can't be an afterthought. Getting enough sleep is an investment in your health, happiness, and overall quality of life. So trying to develop a consistent routine so that you can regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle will be really helpful. There's a sleep guide, which is a really lovely guide, which is understanding your sleep. So I can send you a copy if you'd like. So just pop your email either in the chat, or you can send a message privately on the chat to me. It doesn't have to go to everybody, with your email if you would like a copy of the sleep guide. And you can also contact me if you would like to do a sleep energy review, and I can help you do that to see whether there's anything in there that you could potentially change. So there's my my email address is on screen. So if you would like to do a sleep health check, then just send me a message on that email, and we can do that together. It involves filling in a form basically, and then we just go through it together. So that is the end. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I am going to turn off the recording.